today I'm going to be talking about the drug-using community, which is fortunately not a part of the society that I am a part of, which is why I'm talking about it today. Just to give a brief overview, according to the Centers for Disease Control, about 8.7% of the population over 12 years old has used some sort of illicit drug in the past month. It's about 26 million people that have used drugs in the last month. It's definitely a large percentage when you think about it in those numbers. About 6.6% of those people used marijuana. About 2.8% used non-medical prescription drugs used for non-medical purposes. And a survey done in 2006 by the National Survey on Drug Health and Use found that an alarming increase in the percentage of people using prescription drugs for non-medical use in the last couple of years since 2002. The most commonly used drugs in America are marijuana, which is about 6% of all people who use drugs, which is about 14.8 million people. Second is cocaine, which is about 2.4 million users. About 1 million people use hallucinogenics, also that includes ecstasy. It kind of goes down from there. Methamphetamines is about 731,000, and prescription drugs is about 7 million as well. There is a lot to do with the rise of prescription drugs and just drugs in general in society today. A lot of it's just kind of shown off by TV and music and Hollywood in general. I mean, we've seen a lot of people in the last couple of years die from prescription drug overdoses, like Amy Winehouse or Keith Ledger. And it does kind of disproportionately involve some of the portions of the community. The LGBT community is hit really hard, especially the youth, mostly just being, that's their way of coping with issues, bullying, stuff like that. A lot of it is minorities and underprivileged people, people who are a little bit more desperate, will resort to using drugs and also selling drugs because it's a very lucrative and easy way to make money. Also criminals for obvious reasons because of those easy ways to make money. Speaking of criminals, the crime rate associated with drug use in 2006, it made up 78% of all violent crimes had something to do with drug use. 83% of property crimes involved some sort of drugs, and 77% of public order, immigration, or weapons offenses, also including probation and parole violations, had something to do with drug use. And that is according to a study at the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University that was done in 2006. I have a chart here which shows worldwide. I'll kind of come closer to you guys so you can see it. It shows the entire world here, and it shows that cocaine use is the highest issue in the Western Hemisphere, and Africa is mostly marijuana, whereas Asia is mostly opiates, and Australia is mostly marijuana as well. And the link will be in the outline. The costs associated with drug use are staggeringly high. According to the American Psychological Association, which I have another chart for, about $193 billion a year is appropriated for drug use in various ways in the United States. Most of that is due to lack of productivity. $120.3 billion is wasted on productivity due to drug use. Second to that is crime, which is $61.4 billion, and healthcare, which is $11.4 billion. All used up by various drug uses, which that is that chart. You can see that. This also is an interesting chart of the United States. It gives the percentages of states that use drugs the most, most of which is towards the north. The northeast is pretty high, and also the Pacific Northwest is pretty high. The south, oddly enough, is pretty low. I'll have a link for that in there as well. But I mean, I think we've all been affected by some sort of drug use, whether with personal experience or just someone we know in the family. Myself, I have an uncle who was arrested for drug dealing and spent several years in prison. And, it's definitely something that affects everyone, whether or not, it's definitely a sector of society that is large, but not really spoken about too much. But I hope that this presentation has enlightened you on the drug use community in the United States.